Thank you. Nan Havens. 224 Glenview Road. That's your right name and address?
Well, of course it is. What's the matter with you? You're treating me as though I were a criminal. Look, what have I done? What is it? Why didn't you tell me? I was just down to Gainesville to visit my grandmother. I obeyed all the traffic laws. Why are you doing this to me?
Miss Havens, if that's your name, you can calm down now. Carrying microfilm of government property is illegal. You're under arrest, suspicion of espionage. Byrne, you can take her in now.
John, it's her whole attitude. I just can't believe a girl like that would get herself involved in espionage.
You know, Herb, you and I have worked on a lot of cases together, and I have the deepest respect for your opinions. But I don't think you know very much about women. Nan Havens is young and attractive. And she put on a pretty good act when she was caught with the goods. But now we have a blow-up of that microfilm, and I'd like to show you exactly what little Miss Innocence was carrying in her car.
Well, I'd like to see it.
See what I mean, Herb? Can you imagine all this came out of a little roll of microfilm? Weston. Oh, good. Send her in. Nan Havens' grandmother. Mrs. Havens, won't you come in?
Lieutenant Weston?
Yes, this is Mr. Maris.
Yes.
Yes? Won't you sit down here, Mrs. Havens?
Lieutenant, I've come to talk to you about Nan. When you know the truth about her, I'm sure you won't want to accuse her of doing anything wrong.
Mrs. Havens,
She's very young, Lieutenant. And something like this can, well, just make a terrible impression.
I understand how you must feel, but...
You see, I've known her so long. I brought her up. And when you laugh and cry during the development of a child, there isn't much about that child that you don't know.
No, I suppose not.
Well, I knew that if I just came and explained about Nan, that everything would be all right.
May I explain some things to you, Mrs. Havens?
Oh, yes, do.
Last week, a man was arrested on a charge of being an espionage agent. He was caught carrying classified microfilm in his possession.
How could that possibly have anything to do with Nan?
I'm coming to that. He confessed that every week he would get a piece of microfilm hidden in the trunk of a car parked in the 10th Street parking lot.
That's where Nan parked her car.
Goodness. There must be a lot of other cars parked there.
Yes, but this time we got a license number, and the car turned out to belong to your granddaughter.
If a creature like that could blame something like this on Nan, isn't that a proof she had nothing to do with it?
Not exactly. Because when we went to question Nan, she wasn't there, and the car was gone also. But when she was picked up on the highway, another piece of microfilm was found in her car.
Lieutenant, I know the police are honest, but...
Mrs. Havens, I found the microfilm myself, and Mr. Maris here was with me.
You haven't hurt me. You haven't been paying any attention to anything I've told you.
Mrs. Havens, Lieutenant Weston is a police officer. He can't ignore facts. If it'll be of any help, I believe Nan is innocent, too, and I'm going to try and prove it.
Bless you. There. You see? Everybody doesn't believe Nan's guilty.
Mrs. Havens, you live in Gainesville, don't you?
Yes.
Just a few blocks from the missile base.
Yes.
Well, Nan told us that she had been visiting you, and she was returning from that visit when she was picked up.
That's right. When Nan telephoned me that she was in trouble, I tried to get in touch with Charlie. I knew my place was here with her. I thought maybe he could help me get into town.
Who's Charlie?
He's a young man she's been going with in Gainesville.
Now, that's the first I've heard about a boyfriend. Did you find him?
No. I don't suppose that makes much difference. He hasn't got a car.
Well, where does this Charlie live? Where does he work?
She never told me. But I know she spends all her spare time with him.
Thank you.
Mrs. Havens, I'll do what I can.
Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Havens. Thank you for dropping by. Well, Herb, I think we'd better have a little talk with Miss Nan Havens. Nan, why didn't you tell us about your boyfriend before?
Because I'm sure he had nothing to do with
Look,
it.
you're not going to get any place trying to protect an accomplice.
You don't understand, do you? You just don't understand.
Where did you meet him?
In Gainesville about 6 months ago.
What was he doing there?
He worked in a laundry, I think. He never talked very much about his work.
What's his last name?
Parrish, Charles Parrish.
Where does he live?
Carroll Street. I don't know the address.
Excuse me. I've got some checking to do. What happened to the old mayor's job?
I turned it on all right, but Laura turned it right off.
You sure she's the one we're looking for?
I don't know, but she's certainly being evasive.
Weston. Yeah. Yes, I see. All right, thank you very much. Well, Herb, we're progressing, but in the wrong direction.
What happened?
Nobody's ever heard of Charlie Parrish in or near Gainesville, not at the laundry, nor at the place where he is supposed to work, nor does his description fit anyone they've ever known. Well, it was a nice try.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Herb. You know, I hate to say this, but I don't think you have a chance in the world of preventing an indictment.
I know. The way things are now, conviction is a foregone conclusion. Laura's had a change of heart. At least that's the way it appears to me.
Appears to you? When a young lady car hop baffles the astute Mr. Maris, the millennium must be just around the corner.
Never mind the comment. Tomorrow is Laura's day off. She has a date with Duke Franson at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're going for a drive in her car.
Well, I hope they have nice weather. Huh?
So do I. I think you and I should be around to see what happens. Looks like Duke, all right. Fits Laura's description perfectly. Now what?
Well, just wait and see what happens. There's Duke. Couldn't see exactly what he was doing. He either put something in the car or took it out. I'm not sure. Herb, where are you going?
That's what I'm going to find out.
Wait a minute, Herb.
Don't try and stop me. The evidence I need to free my client may be just across the road.
Yeah?
Duke and Laura are heading for the airport to drop him. She'll drive into town alone.
That clinches that Duke must have stashed microfilm in her car. Anything else?
She gave me this note. The counterman is Nan's boyfriend, Charlie Parrish.
That's our contact. Herb, there's Duke and Laura now.
If we follow them, we may lose Parrish.
That's right. We'll have to put a tail on Duke. Let Laura drive back, park in her usual place, so the stakeout can spot who the pickup man is.
What about Parrish?
We'll stay with him.
That's Parrish now.
Who's that with him?
I don't know. He was sitting at the counter reading a paper.
Well, Ed, that leaves us no choice. We'll have to tail him. They picked up Duke. Where they go now will be very important.
They're turning around. Looks like they know they're being followed.
We'll have to stop them now. If one of them gets to a phone, the whole deal falls through. The quickest way to stop them is a roadblock. Unit 58 to headquarters. You Charlie Parrish?
Never heard of him.
You will. You work at the missile plant? Listen, you might as well tell me. I can find out the truth in 5 minutes.
Yes, I work there, but...
What about you? Did you stash another piece of microfilm in Miss Meade's car at the restaurant?
I never went near a car at the restaurant. You can't prove I did.
Well, I don't know. You like film so much, we have some motion pictures we'd like to show you.
Yes, and the admission is free. Take them back downtown. Come on, get them in the car.
Well, there's just no way, Lieutenant. No way in the world I can ever tell you how grateful I am to you and Mr. Maris.
Oh, excuse me. Well, come on in.
Oh, Grandma.
Oh, John.
Here's a little gift. Mrs. Havens made it for you especially.